there, I'm Dr. Kate Henry, Head of Medical Education at Rupa Health. Today, you get to hear from Corinna Bellizzi, an omega-3 expert who's going to teach us the top 6 things everyone needs to know about omega-3s.
Omega-3s, generally speaking, reduce your inflammation levels in your body because they stimulate these things called resolvins, which resolve inflammation. They also stimulate protectins, which protect against DNA damage. So that's one of the reasons we think that omega-3s are so supportive of total body health. Well, the problem with omega-3s and why they're so hard to get enough of them in your diet in the first place is that they are less stable. So because they're less stable, you can't cook with them, right? If you try to cook with a walnut oil, it's going to oxidize very rapidly. It has a low flash point, right? And because it has a low flash point, that rancid oil is now going to have kind of mutated into a trans fat. So they're fine for salad dressings all day long, but not so much on the grill. What this also means is that companies have actually manufactured their corn oils and their other seed oils to remove omega-3s because they're not as shelf stable, right? So cooking with cooking oils like corn oil or safflower oil is going to be a great way to get plenty of omega-6s in your system, but no omega-3s at all. What is your level of omega-3 that's in your tissues? And that can be determined by a simple blood spot test. It's easy to take it home, you mail it in, you get results in like 5 days, right? Mm-hmm. And what this shows you is how much omega-3 is in your tissues. Now, most Americans test around 4%. If you're eating fish 2 to 3 times a week, you're probably going to be better. Most people don't eat fish 2 to 3 times a week. And when they do, it's usually farmed, which also doesn't have the same level of omega-3s in it. Why? Because it's harder to get those levels right? They're not out swimming in the world and eating algae. So that's something that is a challenge you need to get past. But we want to see people's tissue levels get to 8% or better. And Omega Quant, as well as many, many research studies from Harvard and on down the line, have shown that when you get to 8 to 12% omega-3s in your tissues, all-cause mortality drops. Getting there is going to be challenging without supplementation in today's world, especially if you're eating a plant-based diet. And so those that are plant-based, even if they're consuming a lot of plant-sourced omega-3s, and that's the walnuts, the chia seeds, the flax seeds, etc., if they're eating a lot of those things, they're still testing out around 3.5% omega-3. So even lower than people who consume, a standard American diet even. Omega-3s actually improve your satiety, whereas omega-6s can make you feel more hungry. And so there's probably some reason that we have, an overweight society here in the States. And so if you want to reduce the likelihood that you're going to eat more than you need, reducing your omega-6s can support that. Increasing your omega-3s can support that. The omega-3 side of the equation, as we already mentioned, you're talking about things like chia seeds, walnuts, flaxseed oil. Those are all high in omega-3s. And the reason for that is that your body takes time to build up your stores. This is part of why we're running the Tested by You campaign the way we are, giving you a baseline test and then another test 4 months later, because it takes you time to ramp up your levels of omega-3s. You can expect to pay about $1 a day for a quality omega-3 supplement. If you're not paying that, then you're essentially taking something that's inferior. And, that's just because of what it costs to build healthy product. So there's almost a price threshold. You go below that and there's some compromises being made. So for example, almost all of the krill oils, they actually have a more bioavailable omega-3 in them. It's actually just a dusting of krill oil these days and the rest is fish oil. So all of those labels, they contain krill oil and fish oil. And it's very rare that you find something that's exclusively krill oil at this point. Most people need between 250 to 1,000 milligrams a day of a standard fish oil.
We hope you liked today's podcast clip. And if you want to learn more, check out the Root Cause Medicine podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.